even across the world. Take a look. All across the globe, people are protesting 5G cell phone towers, worried the radiation will cause cancer. But mobile carriers, tech giants, and even the President of the United States says without 5G, we run the risk of falling behind the rest of the world. Some even believe that Russian fake news outlets are pushing the 5G health scare on social media. Confused? Yep, we don't blame you. So are most towns across the country. But today, we're cutting through all of this to get to the truth so you can be informed and keep your family safe. Starting with, what the heck is 5G? Your smartphone and other electronic devices use very specific frequencies on the radio frequency spectrum. But the rise of smart technology and the ever-growing number of devices in each household has caused the frequencies to become increasingly overcrowded, resulting in slower service and more dropped connections. This congestion, combined with our needs for faster internet speeds, has led carriers to expand into a new frequency that uses millimeter waves. These waves don't travel as well, so in order for them to work, internet providers need to set up many more towers to make sure you can binge watch, post, and surf on 5G without your screen freezing up. But with more and more of these towers popping up, local communities are fighting back because they're worried about the health effects of our constant exposure to this new technology. We're now joined by neurosurgeon Dr. Paul Saphier, who's been looking into 5G for years. And there are two sides to the debate. First, we're going to cover the case against 5G. So the activists against 5G are claiming the potential health concerns. What are they saying?
Well, people have been concerned primarily of the bad health effects of like cancer. And now with 5G, critics are saying that with the higher frequency, with the increased amount of data going through and all the cell phone towers throughout, they're concerned that our communities are going to be bathed in all this excess radiation that's going to permeate our bodies, affect our children as they're developing, so on and so forth.
What do the wireless carriers say about this?
Well, they're saying the opposite, as you can imagine. So what they're saying is that up until now, there's been no proof, no conclusive evidence whatsoever of any type of causal relationship between cellular technology and cancer or any sort of health effects. So many agencies throughout the country, also in Europe, have looked at this. They've come up with nothing.
Right, so we did reach out to trade groups. None were able to send representatives here today, so we're going to teach you as best we can. So let's go back. A lot of this is about radiation waves. So we built a little chart, and since you're an expert, explain to us a little bit about the radiation spectrum. And this is, you'll recognize some of these words.
Right, so when people hear the term radiation, of course, they're very apprehensive. They're thinking things of like nuclear war, Chernobyl, or whatnot, and everything really kind of emits radiation. That's really energy. So this is the electromagnetic radiation spectrum. Down here on this end, lower spectrum, this is non-ionizing radiation. So what that means, this is the kind of stuff that does not cause cancer. These are the things that we know every day, microwaves, radio waves. We go all the way down over here to this end of the spectrum. This is when we get into ionizing radiation. This is the stuff that penetrates, damages our DNA, causes potentially incite cancer. X-rays, gamma rays, ultraviolet light, right? We have to put on sunblock. We come back down here, visible light, and below is non-ionizing. Here in the millimeter waves, this is where cellular technology lives, including 5G. So it's in the non-ionizing, non-cancerous waves.
Again, we only see this little bit of the light here. That's the radiation we get to see. Everything else we're learning about altogether. So come on down here. There's a small amount of radiation I'm gathering coming out of these towers. It's not a huge amount, and it seems to be in the non-ionizing area. So how harmful could that be?
Well, people see a cell phone tower, and it's a very ominous-looking structure, right? Everyone wants to back up. They don't want to get exposed. And certainly with 5G, as we heard, there's going to be many more towers peppered throughout our communities, right? There hasn't been any proof that there's any adverse health effects, whether it be cancer or otherwise, from these towers. And ironically, the way that 5G is designed, the millimeter waves actually don't penetrate the body's our skin.
So you're a neurosurgeon. Just talk about the brain, which is one of the areas that I've always been told and I hear about online that brain cancer might be increased from using cell phones. Any evidence in your practice?
People ask me that question all the time. They're using their cell phones, they're holding up to the ears. Is this going to cause brain cancer? The short answer, no. There's no evidence to date that there's any association between cellular usage and brain cancer of any types.
So let me push back a tiny bit. There was an NIH study that found that high exposure to radio frequency radiation from cell phones, like how we might use, could cause cancers in rats. How do you've seen the study? What do you think about it?
Yeah, the study itself is very flawed, and certainly a lot of people are using it almost in a way fear-monger. In this study, they bathed rats and mice with such an excess amount of radio frequency radiation, way more than any human being would ever receive. And ultimately, neither the World Health Organization, the FDA, the American Cancer Society, no one really got behind it. They also have inconclusive evidence.
Here's the thing from my perspective. I think, personally, the people who are financially benefiting from 5G towers should make a little investment to solve this darn question. So at least we know for sure. And I know it's hard to do. But when I don't see an answer there, it still drives me a little batty. Even though you're right, I haven't seen any evidence that makes me think we should run away from 5G. It makes all of our lives easier just to do the work. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right, so the FCC has stated the available scientific evidence to date does not support adverse health effects to humans due to exposure at or under current limits. And the FDA has said decades of research and hundreds of studies gives them the confidence in the current safety limits for cell phone radiation. So they think it's okay. So now that you're all more informed on 5G, it's time to vote on whether we want a 5G tower in our little town here as Dr. Oz show. So audience, register your votes in our social experiment now. Everyone at home, please take a moment. Let us know what you think. When we come back, we're going to reveal the results. Plus, we're arming you with 5 facts that you need to know about 5G right now.
A jealous wife chases down her husband's lover. And someone ends up dead.
What did he say?